Babylon, by
The Greeks, Syrian Greeks, same culture.
no, Solomon's was by they lived in Iraq.
The Babylonians carried off by
What the Babylonians? Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar, that's where they went into exile.
Yes, but they were destroyed. Not fully, but it was, because when they came back, there was a little bit.
But the actual temple, the physical destruction, was by the Greeks. And, yes, and then the Romans. They were in exile in Babylon, and that's where they wrote the Talmud, or the analysis of the Torah. Anyway, so there's been 2 temples, both destroyed. The idea for the New World religion is to create, again, here's the magical number 3, the new temple. But what's the problem?
Dome of the Rock.
Dome of the Rock is on it. Okay? So that has to go. The third global ceremony is the rebuilding of the temple in 2003.
So how does the Jews now get into this story? How do they fit in?
Well, look what's going on right now. Look what's going on in the Middle East right now. There will never be a peace agreement between the Israelis and the Palestinians. That will never happen, ever.
They took a vote in the Knesset.
It's just not going to happen.
No
Even
Palestinians.
despite any vote, those who control this world will never allow it. But they will allow the destruction of the Islamic fundamentalists, which is why the whole setup for the World Trade Center was in the first place, so that the world would develop a hatred for the fundamentalist Islamic people. They also emphasized this in March of 2001, when they destroyed the Buddhist statues in Afghanistan that had been there for 1,500 years. This angered the Orientals. Now they also blew up the temple, the oldest synagogue in North Africa, they blew up in Tunisia. Now they damaged the Church of the Nativity. So they angered every single religion.
Now, who's they?
Illuminati. The Illuminati that I'm talking to you about. Illuminati.
Now,
Understand something.
the Church of the Nativity, I mean, in just recently?
It wasn't destroyed, it was damaged. The Israelis fired flares or rockets into it and started fires. And the Palestinians blamed the Israelis, and the Israelis blamed the Palestinians, and it's just, that's the way it is. And so, who is the group that claims responsibility for most of the suicide attacks in the Middle East?
Hamas and Hezbollah.
But what word are they using? The Al-Aqsa Brigade. Where is Al-Aqsa? But where is it in Jerusalem? Yes. So, and every time you see CNN report or a news report from the Middle East, what is always in the background? Behind the Dome of the Rock is always in the background. It's being imprinted on you, waiting for your understanding of its destruction. And that's what's going to happen imminently. They will blame it on Jewish extremists in the Middle East who, in anger, will blow it up. When did the Intifada start? What enhanced this is when Ariel Sharon visited the Temple Mount and made them all upset in front of the Dome of the Rock. What was going on? The Israelis were tunneling underneath the Dome of the Rock to get to the underneath area where they believe they will find the Ark of the Covenant. There's two Arks of the Covenant, an original and a copy. The original was kept in Ethiopia for a very long time. And in the 1980s, when the Israelis airlifted the black Jews called the Falasha back to Israel, they took the Ark of the Covenant back with them. But they punished Ethiopia because Ethiopia would not allow them to come and get the Falasha. And the Israelis have been asking for years. And so what they did was incite separatists in the province of Eritrea, which is on the coast of Ethiopia, and the Israelis funded that and gave them money, and actually to this day now there's a separate country called Eritrea, which is south of Somalia, east of Ethiopia. And so, why was it so important for all those thousands of black Jews to go back to Israel? Why? What do they represent? Who is their ancestor? Solomon. It's perfect. What was just born in Israel not long ago? A red heifer. They're suddenly finding accoutrements that were used in the temple that they thought they'd never have again. They're finding it. They're finding the plants that have the blue dye that they can use. They're finding oil that they thought they couldn't, from a plant they thought never existed anymore. They're starting to find everything they need to recreate that third temple. And when that happens, that is when the New World religion will be installed. And Jerusalem will become the holy site again.
That's what the Christians believe.
Yes. Yes, and that's why all these fundamentalist Christians are in there right now, waiting for this to happen.
Channel 38 covers that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And so, that's what's going on right now. That's what everything is gearing up to right now. The Chinese and the Israelis have a military agreement where they will destroy the Central Asian fundamentalists. It's already beginning. This summer, the United States and Britain will attack Iraq. And after Iraq, they will attack Iran, and they will go after Syria, and they will go after Libya, and Algeria, and Sudan, and blah, 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 blah. All in a row, until there are no more in existence. And in this country, the United States has called into question Arab Americans and Islamic Americans, particularly in Detroit, which has the highest Arab concentration in the United States. And so, this is the first time since Nazi Germany that a group of people have been asked to register and go under interrogation because of their religion. Of course, we did that in World War II with the Japanese, didn't we? We incarcerated all of them in concentration camps in this country.
But that's temporary.
But they died, many of them. Big deal. The Palestinians say that about the Israelis. Not correct. Temporary or not. Would you like to be in one for a week? No. They were there for 4 years.
It was not a long-term plan. It was a reactive plan to the war.
Why didn't they incarcerate Germans?
Too many of them.
Because we were working with the Germans.
Oh, yeah.
In Montauk, in World War II, German U-boats were seen entering Montauk Harbor and going underneath into the submarine pens without being stopped. And this is what the Illuminati are about. On a higher level, they are operating all in control of one government. There really is only one government. Countries are for public consumption. Most countries are artificially created, including the United States, including Switzerland, including most of South America. All fake countries. There is no such cultures. They're artificially made.
So this is all leading up to them dropping the facade and just telling everybody, hey, we're running the show, you're our slaves.
And where are they showing you this? But in Cuba. Now what have they just done? They created an international prison in Guantanamo, and they have taken Afghanistan people who maybe never knew what an airplane looked like and incarcerated them 10,000 miles from where they live. And everybody says that's okay, because they're from Afghanistan.
They're terrorists.
They're terrorists. But in Guantanamo are people from 35 different countries. And then what happened this week? Former President Carter went to Havana and made nice with Fidel Castro and all the Cuban people. Like nothing was ever wrong. Bringing Cuba into the New World Order and allowing it to become a prison island. Those people have not been charged with anything. What else have they done, especially in Europe? They took Milovan, the Yugoslavian leader, Milosevic, from Yugoslavia to Holland. Why? He committed no crime in Holland. Maybe he didn't even commit a crime. What's
International Tribunal.
international? So what has the UN created? The World War Crimes Tribunal. Any citizen of any country who is accused of being a war criminal can be taken